Timm Bruch joining us live in studio with those details. Tim.
Daryl, the leader of the official opposition, told Albertans they need to be patient. Faced with a tough second half to the year, Scheer predicted a rocky start to 2019 and more problems for Albertans on the way. Of course, he did say there is a way he believes the province can get back on track.
CTV's Timm Bruch was at the McLaren for that today and is back there live for us tonight. Tim.
Daryl, the site behind me used to be home to century-old Buena Vista Apartments, and just 30 months ago, that building was knocked down to make way for what you see behind me now. It's just the latest example of Council's ultimate vision. That's more modern developments with more floors closer to the heart of the city.
Timm Bruch is live at the Edmonton International Airport with more on that angle of the story. Tim.
Yeah, Carmen, today's decision and those resulting cancellations has led to some confusion both inside this airport and out as travelers seek to find out what that Max 8 grounding means for them. Now, the crash has no doubt left many Edmontonians saddened. Odoa was well known at the Alberta Somali Community Centre, and those inside say it's tough news to hear. Last night, the Ethiopian community also mourned. A service was held in town to pray for the victims and for their families. Erin?
Tim, thank you.
In the past, Notley has, for the most part, stayed away from the personal attacks, instead letting her deputy premier smear the opposition. But this week marked a notable change, and it started just minutes after the election was announced. Earthquakes are rare in this region, but they do happen. In 1984, 1997, and then again in 2001, 4.0 magnitude earthquakes were recorded here. The last known incidents happened in 2016. Many workers here in Lac La Biche say this is a crisis like they've never seen before. Thousands of jobs have been lost and millions of dollars are gone from this economy.
CTV's Timm Bruch has been poring over the leaked documents and joins us now with more. Tim.
Yes, Nicole, those internally leaked documents seem to confirm what some have been speculating for months. A so-called kamikaze campaign aimed at taking down Jason Kenney's closest competitor in the UCP leadership race and giving Kenney the party reins.
We weren't paying attention to how other people were funding or running their campaigns.
It's something Jason Kenney and his team have been denying for months.
There were interviews done with everybody who'd been on my leadership campaign. The answers came back. There was no awareness, knowledge, participation of any kind.
But new documents obtained by CTV News point to involvement between Kenney and Jeff Callaway's 2017 UCP leadership campaigns. Emails between Callaway's co-manager Cam Davies and senior Kenney staffer Matt Wolf show two sides working together. According to the emails, the idea was to run Callaway's campaign to help Kenney defeat his main rival, Brian Jean. Callaway would run solely to attack Jean and then drop out of the race and throw support behind Kenney, something he did just weeks before the vote. The documents allege long-haul strategic moves, Wolf sending Callaway and Davies talking points, speeches, and attacks, all to undermine Jean. One of the emails Davies sent Wolf more than a month before Callaway dropped out of the race discusses themes the campaign should push. Included a line hoping Jean loses his cool and attacks Callaway.
These kinds of things do belong on Netflix. They belong in House of Cards. They don't belong in the Alberta legislature.
The NDP calls it yet another reason Kenney is unfit to be premier.
Certainly the things that he's done and said and the fact that he clearly lied multiple times about this very issue makes me very concerned about what else he's lying about.
But after the election commissioner announced an investigation into irregular financial contributions to his campaign, the question of how Callaway's run was funded remains unanswered.
That's where it transports itself from ethical dilemma to violation of Alberta elections law to possible criminal activity.
In a statement, the party's executive director said communication between leadership campaigns is perfectly normal and was within the rules of the 2017 UCP leadership election. But now eyes have turned towards another vote.
If Kenney takes these steps to win a leadership race, what would he do if he was in power? What does it say about character and trust and honesty?
The RCMP confirmed on Friday it is looking into allegations surrounding those irregular financial contributions. Earlier this month, the UCP dropped Calgary candidate Randy Kerr after he wasn't forthright about campaign funding. Nicole?
Thank you, Tim.